Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Thursday. It is February the 18th, and I know I'm doing this a little early, and you're probably going to see this early. Normally, I like to wait till at least after 2 o'clock. Usually, I wait till after 3, the market closes, but because of the weather, I'm going to get out of here early today. No chart listed tomorrow, so regardless, I'm probably going to take off tomorrow, but it won't affect the YouTube lesson because I won't be doing one tomorrow. So um, anyway, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and work through this chart lesson and go ahead and get out of here today because the weather's just really bad here and the roads are just getting worse by the minute. So let's get to this chart lesson and we'll wrap this week up. I backed out here a little bit so we can see the bigger picture, but we had this nice leg down, and so you measure that leg and look for where we start lower, and normally we're probably going to prices will try to make a measured move, and if you come up short like this, it probably means prices are going to reverse, and usually they'll go further in the other direction. So as you can see, we really were in a range for most of the morning, and we broke out of here just after lunchtime. I wouldn't say we've gone very far. Wouldn't surprise me if prices don't come back here before the close. We'll have to see, but there's clearly a two-tiered channel working up here that's in play. You really didn't get a lot of opportunity to trade it, but there's a couple of green ones there. But prior to that, there's some really good trades, especially early on this morning. But clearly you can see the first leg down, and then we just kind of went sideways in a two-tiered uh, range there. And we started off in this range, and so if you measure that distance there and then look for an equal move, that gets you where we pretty much had the lows across here. We dropped a little further, but it didn't last very long. We were back inside there and going sideways. Then again, we rallied here from about lunchtime on, really a little before lunchtime. So, but I'm going to back out. We'll go through the trades and we'll go from there. I've been trying to back out of this thing as much as I can just to make it a little easier for people to see. But there was a clear two-tier channel working down. This is very obvious, really easy to see. And generally, if you just wait for prices to come back and give you a setup, those are going to be your best setups. And we got one right at 7 o'clock this morning. Notice the little channel working up. You get a close outside, a new high. Then you try to go higher one more time. This signal bar is not the greatest, but I think it's close enough considering that you got the little trap there. If we break lower here, you're going to at least get a scalp, and it's probably going to trend on down. So I like this one. If this was your signal bar, I'd probably tell you have to wait on a lower high, which that's what this is, a lower high, but it's still not a great signal bar. But again, I think it's with as clear as this channel is, and the fact that this one's played out and you got this double top here with a lower high, I like going short there. There's a lower high right here. Again, it's off the secondary key entry point of this real steep move here. And this actually breaks higher and turns down and goes out the other side. There's still a good bit of room to the lows, and the trend channel is still in play, so you may take that trade. It's a little bit aggressive, but there's reason to believe that prices are going lower. It's a lower high. It's probably going to trap people right there trying to pick lows. So I like the fact that you can see how it drops on down there. And then we just kind of start chopping sideways. But notice that we made a little double test here with a really bearish signal bar. Again, this one's a little bit aggressive. Probably only way I would play this was if prices, it actually broke higher and turned down, but it's right into all these lows. So I don't think I would play it as engulfing bar, but when it closed that bearish, what I would do is I'd let it break lower and maybe drop a limit order in here a few ticks back where you got enough room to get out before the low and maybe trade it that way. Otherwise, I'd skip this trade because it's very sideways, but you can see we tested the EMA or the midline twice there, and we've got multiple tests across this resistance here. We've got a strong downtrend to boot, so we're probably going to go lower, just a matter of when. There's a lower high here, you can't take that, and then we drop on down and start going sideways. And really what you are looking at here is we're probably just coming back to the trend line, but prices aren't even strong enough to really rally. They just kind of work sideways. But just after they open, prices do kind of bounce here. Note that you've got this channel working up. There's a nice tempting signal bar here, but this one would have been the same thing, and you see how it failed. So you just have to wait until this to make sure this little channel plays out. And unfortunately, you don't get a lower high or a trap or anything. It just, the bottom falls out of it again. So I just think that's too risky to take that trade with that clear channel working up. And you can clearly see that trend line holding all the way up. We are getting away from the EMA, but it wouldn't be unusual for it to break lower, then turn up, and then turn down. So I just think you have to leave that one alone. Of course, we drop back down here. You get a little failed breakout right here. And you might take that trade if it wasn't like a down up bar there, and then this one, if it would have broke on higher, maybe you enter there. But when this ends up as an inside bar, that just looks too congestive. So I think you have to skip it. Plus, you've had no break of this yet. But we end up running up this one. We get a break, move to a new high, and it's right off that resistance area right there. A nice bearish bar, and that is a second entry short. So I like going short right there. It takes it a minute to work on, but in the end it does. We bounce down here. You get a nice signal bar, but you got to go long right in the middle of that range, and that's never a good idea. And the bias is down anyway, so I would just wait. And we run back up, and we get this little trap here with a second entry short. Again, it takes it a minute to work on down, but it does. Just hang with it. And look at it go. And then we end up in this next leg down. But all we end up really getting, first thing you want to do is measure this range. Like I said, you measure this range here, and then look for a measured move. And actually, I got that little. And notice exactly where we go to there. Perfect measured move. This is just that measured move, and I just extended my line to the right where prices were just to know where it was going to bounce, and that's exactly where it bounces. And again, it's tempting to go long here. This is a downtrend, and we may have another leg. Don't try to short this thing. We run up and we get a nice second entry short right off a key entry point, but that bar's too bullish, and you don't get anything else. It just takes off. So, but if you're patient, and a few minutes later you get a first entry and then a second entry with another nice signal bar right off the key entry point. You don't get a runner here, unfortunately. It's also a double test, really, of the resistance area here where I ended up drawing that line. This line actually should be a little higher, and this one's a little lower. Got that off a little bit. So notice that you get two legs back to test that breakout area and the second entry short. I mean, generally your breakouts are going to fail, but you don't really get a chance to trade this failed breakout. Maybe here, but it's right back into the EMA. You'd want a little more room. So if this would have been bullish, this would have been a great opportunity to maybe say, hey, I want to be a little aggressive here, but you just don't get a chance. And next thing you know, it's rocketing higher. You get a first entry short and then a second entry short that fails right off the EMA, back inside the range. This looks like a failed breakout, and we're probably going to go higher. However, this trend channel is played out. We already have a new high. Even though this is a failed second entry long, that's a very neutral bar. Generally, your signal bar does not matter when it's a trap, but I'm not convinced you're going to trap a lot of people here. It's a little bit sideways too. It looks like a range, not much room back to those highs. It is a failed second entry short, and you may get another leg up, and we may be back in the range. So it's got reasons to like it and reasons to be afraid of it. So I marked it green. I think it's a little too aggressive. Of course, we run on up and then we come back. We bounce. We come back again. You actually get a second entry long here. I was not convinced. I mean, that's only, it's no way to know for sure if this trend line's in there yet, but when it makes a second attempt to go lower and you get that failed second entry short, go long right there. And you might go long right here. You could argue for it to be green, but you don't really have anything there concrete to say, hey, we're going higher, because this is played out over here and we're right in the middle back of this range, and that's not a good place to be trying to pick a long. You want something a little more concrete. So this is the better trade here because it's a second entry long, it's a failed second entry short. It gives you a little more proof that, hey, this line up through here is holding, the EMA is maybe holding, and you can tell the shorts got trapped there, and look at it go. Just find those key entry points. That's the whole key to it. But we turn down here and we start trending lower on this channel. The only problem is you got a little close outside here, but you know, there's not really enough there still to say, hey, this is going to be a solid trend channel here. There's actually a second entry long here, but with this little close and a new high, I'd be a little leery of that one. It would have worked. So you might, that's another one you may have taken to the long side, but you see it quickly fails. And when you get a lower high here in that big bearish bar, I'm going short right there. And you may not have been able to get in this one because you see it, there's no overlap in it. This one closes on its low, this one opens on its high and just keeps going. So I don't know that you would have gotten into that one, but I would have tried. And then we run back, we get a close outside, we move to a new low and we reverse. So on this time, we reverse right near the lows of the range. We pushed a little lower. Again, I don't see any reason to try to go long there yet, but when you get this reversal pattern, notice the new low, you get a first entry, you shoot through the EMA, you pull back, you get a second entry short, it instantly fails. If it breaks higher there, we're probably going to make another measured leg up at a minimum, and it's probably going to act as a trap. There's your first leg, there's your second leg, and there's your two measured legs up, and then we just kind of went sideways for a bit. But I like entering there, and sometimes you'll catch this move like this and it just goes on. Either way, you get a runner here that even if you would have ridden this out, your runner still survives. But a lot of times you'll catch these runners on these reversals, especially on failed breakouts and things. That's why I like to be a little aggressive with these sometimes. This one is really tempting, but I think you need to wait on a higher low, which comes here, and you're still below you're still acting as resistance. Not a lot of room back to the EMA, so I don't see entering this till this reversal. But we run up, and then we're just working sideways. But you can clearly see two legs back. It bounces off the support. Fairly bullish bar. Again, you may go long there. It's a little bit aggressive. I think you're better off to wait and see what happens, and you just get another bar. This one does close outside, but again, I just think it's really risky. It's another one you could argue for it to maybe be green because they may trap some shorts here, but you don't know that it's going to take off like that. What only thing you'd be looking for out of either of these is a quick scalp maybe, and if you get lucky, something like this happens. But I don't think it was worth risking. It's too tight of a channel. You're right into the resistance. Too big a chance it breaks higher and turns back down again. But it runs up, and then again, we're just working sideways. I don't see anything in there that would tempt me to entering, and now we're working sideways again. And notice that new low, first entry, second entry. So you could look at that as a failed second entry short. It actually breaks lower and turns and goes out the upper side all in one bar. So you may trade that as a trap. You don't get much out of it before it turns back down. So that's a good example of just being really careful there. I'm not crazy about that. It's just like all the rest of them. But notice how each one of them ends up running higher. And so based on how these last couple reacted, you may take that trade. I wouldn't wait till this bar closed and go long, but when it broke out up here, what you might do is drop a limit order in and see if it'll back up and give you a little more room. And that way you easily get out. I think you get out of this one regardless. I think it gets enough to, even if you just went long right above that. But I don't think I'd play it that way because you don't have much room. So the only way I'd play this is when it broke higher and triggered the actual entry, I might have dropped a limit order a few ticks back with enough room to get out before that high and traded it that way. Otherwise, I'd skip that trade. So I hope that's clear. And because you see it quickly runs back, stops everybody out, and then goes exactly where you thought it was going to go. So, and we're into the 2 o'clock hour now, so I wouldn't take any more trades here, especially with a break and a new high. We may get another leg up, but I don't see anything there yet I would be willing to go long on. So we did kind of get to the 2 o'clock hour after all because it took that long to do the chart lesson. But anyway, I feel like I rushed through this one, but I want to get this wrapped up and get out of here before the sun starts going down and everything freezes up even worse than it is now. So I hope you had a good trading week. It's been a crazy week around here for me with all the bad weather, but I'm going to wrap my week up. Like I said, I'm probably going to take off tomorrow, so there may not be a mid-morning chart on the website either. Just depends on how things look tomorrow and how the rest of the day goes here. But most likely I'm just going to take the day off and take an extended weekend. It's supposed to get back up, be sunny and back in the around 50 degrees here by Sunday, so hopefully everything will thaw out and melt and we'll kind of be back to normal around here and we can get on towards spring and move on. So this is very unusual weather for our part of the country, and we got it bad enough here, but the people in Texas, for those of you that are in Texas, you're probably not watching if you are, but if you don't have power and you don't have water out there, our thoughts are with you folks, and hope it thaws out quick out there for y'all, because I know how bad it is here, and we still have power and water and heat and all that, so it would be even a worse situation if you don't have power, I can only imagine. So stay safe out there, stay warm if you can, and I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it Monday, but I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.